The yeas are 52. The nays are 47. The motion is agreed to. The joint resolution will be placed on the calendar.
In a massive rebuke against Donald Trump, the United States Senate, in a vote of 52 to 47, which you just saw there, voted to advance a war powers resolution aimed at restricting Donald Trump from taking further military action in Venezuela without explicit congressional authorization. You have Republican Senators Murkowski, Young, Paul, Collins, and Hawley joining with the Democrats in that 52 to 47 vote. The war powers resolution now advances, but Donald Trump is threatening to veto it, and he is saying that he has absolute power to launch invasions wherever he wants to in the Western Hemisphere. Now, as the Senate has essentially rebuked Donald Trump there, the Trump regime sources are telling Reuters and others that they plan to do a hostile takeover of Greenland by way of paying Greenlanders between $10,000 and $100,000 each if they support secession and they basically become traitorous and treasonous to Greenland and sell out their own country to the United States. This is an unprecedented, hostile, and I would even say an act of potential war at this point to engage in this type of economic coercion against the sovereignty of a country. Here's how it's being reported by Reuters. Trump administration considers paying Greenlanders to join U.S. U.S. officials are discussing offering Greenlanders $10,000 to $100,000 each to support secession from Denmark and U.S. affiliation, to say that they're now part of the U.S. So let me just get this straight. As the Trump regime is taking away health care from tens of millions of Americans, they are trying to subsidize oil companies to the tune of $100 billion in Venezuela. They've given $40 billion or plus to Argentina. The United States is saying they want to, or Trump regime is saying they want to raise their military budget to $1.5 trillion, up from $900 billion, then up from $1 trillion that Trump announced via a social media post a few weeks back. And now they want to pay the people who live in Greenland $100,000 each to bribe them to become part of the United States. What the hell is going on here? The Reuters article goes on to explain that this plan is part of a broader White House deliberation, which also includes military options for an invasion if the people of Greenland do not accept the $10,000 or $100,000 checks. As we previously reported earlier this morning, France has been making plans with Germany and Denmark and others to prepare for a possible war against the United States if the United States invades Greenland. And folks, we're learning more about the identity of Renee Nicole Macklin Good, who she is, what an incredible person she was. She was murdered by the Trump regime in South Minneapolis when the ICE Gestapo shot her in the face. NPR News has been doing an incredible job here. The woman killed by ICE agents, murdered by ICE agents, was a mother of three, a poet, and new to the city. And say her name, Renee Nicole Macklin Good. Here are some more new photos of her as well that we've seen. Some of these photos have not been released before. These are some newer photos. Let's talk about who she is. The woman shot and killed by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer in Minneapolis on Wednesday was Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a 37-year-old mother of three who had recently moved to Minnesota. She was a U.S. citizen born in Colorado and appears to have never been charged with anything involving law enforcement beyond a traffic ticket. In social media accounts, Macklin Good described herself as a poet and writer and wife and mom. She said she was currently experiencing Minneapolis, displaying a pride flag emoji on her Instagram account. A profile picture posted to Pinterest shows her smiling and holding a young child against her cheek, along with posts about tattoos, hairstyles, and home decorating. Her ex-husband, who asked not to be named out of concern for the safety of their children, said Macklin Good had just dropped off her 6-year-old son at school on Wednesday and was driving home with her current boyfriend partner when they encountered a group of ICE agents on a snowy street in Minneapolis, where they had moved last year from Kansas City, Missouri. Video taken by bystanders posted to social media then shows the officer approaching the car and shooting her in the face, which we've showed you that video before. We don't need to show you that video here. Now, the Trump regime is also engaged in a cover-up of the murder of Renee Nicole Macklin Good. They are refusing to allow Minneapolis to take any part of the investigation. This was from Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, earlier today, where she says that Minneapolis will not have any jurisdiction over the investigation of a murder by ICE, by Trump's Gestapo in Minneapolis. Here, let's play this clip.
They have not been cut out. They don't have any jurisdiction in this investigation. Yes, go ahead.
More from Kristi Noem right here. And she is asked, well, how do you respond to people who watch the video with their own eyes and see that Renee Nicole Macklin Good was not using her vehicle in an act of domestic terrorism, but that this untrained ICE agent, this terrorist, this Gestapo, SS, Trump regime terroristic crew that has invaded Minneapolis, that they just went to her car and shot her in the face? How do you respond to people when they see something different than what you're saying, Kristi Noem, you propagandist? Here's what she says. Let's play this clip.
This vehicle was used to hit this officer. It was used as a weapon, and the officer feels as though his life was in jeopardy. It was used to perpetuate a violent act that this officer took action to protect himself and to protect his fellow law enforcement officers. So we'll let this continue to go forward and follow the same policies and procedures that every use of force situation does. But we've had almost over 100 times that these vehicles have been used to ram law enforcement officers and to do damage and to harm them. When you take an action and use a weapon to harm someone and to incite violence against them and try to cause them injury or death, then it needs to be labeled exactly what it was.
While everyone else is promising to hit the gym more in 2026, I'm focusing on something that will actually stick. Better nutrition for my kids. That's exactly why Hiya exists, to give parents a real solution in a market flooded with products that prioritize candy-like appeal over actual nutrition. Some children's vitamins on the market today contain up to 7 grams of sugar per serving and are stuffed with artificial additives and petroleum-based dyes. Hiya took the opposite approach. Zero sugar, zero gummy junk, just clean nutrition. And the crazy thing? Kids actually love them. The taste, the experience, all of it. What makes Hiya different is how thoughtfully it's designed. They looked at what modern kids are actually eating or not eating and formulated around those specific nutritional gaps. Working alongside pediatricians and nutrition scientists, Hiya created a superpowered chewable vitamin that packs 12 organic fruits and vegetables plus 15 essential vitamins and minerals into every dose. Designed for kids 2 and up, Hiya ships straight to your door. You get this awesome reusable bottle with your first order, and they send refills every month. One less thing to remember at the store. My son loves Hiya, and he had such a blast decorating the bottle with the stickers in the first order. It was awesome. And here's something every parent needs to hear. If getting your kids to eat vegetables feels like an impossible daily battle, Hiya's new Kids Daily Greens plus Superfoods is a total game changer. It's basically chocolate milk stuffed with veggies. It's a green powder that's packed with 55 plus whole food source ingredients. Just mix 1 scoop with milk or any non-dairy beverage and watch them actually enjoy something that's secretly fueling their growing bodies. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/Meidas. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/Meidas and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults.
Then a reporter asks, so the state investigation agency says they're being cut out. What's your response to cutting out the state agency from being able to investigate possible crimes by ICE? And Kristi Noem says, we're not letting them get anywhere near this. So the Trump regime covering up child sex trafficking rings, covering up war crimes off the coast of Venezuela and in the Pacific, covering up Donald Trump's medical records, covering up the murder of Renee Nicole Macklin Good. This is a regime of terrorists, a regime of cover-up, a regime of criming. Here, let's play this clip right here.
Secretary,
Yes.
minutes ago, the head of Minnesota State Investigations Agency said that they had been cut out of the investigation into the fatal shooting in Minneapolis. Can you explain that reversal?
I'd like to know where they've been and why they're not out on the streets investigating all of these people that are harassing and inciting violence on law enforcement officers right now. They're allowing this situation to be volatile. They're not doing their work. They haven't for years, and maybe they should get to work a little bit on the unprecedented fraud that we've seen in Minnesota and in Minneapolis by people that stole from American citizens and diverted funds away from vulnerable people and programs and services that they needed and put it into their own pockets. Minnesota is a train wreck. It is corrupt, and it was under the leadership of Governor Walz and this mayor that they allowed it to happen, and they let criminals and illegals and people abuse programs and steal the money, and now they're allowing violence to go forward on the streets as well.
This also finds the Minneapolis Police Department, county sheriffs, the federal authorities at this point, they don't want.
I won't put a blanket statement out like those other individuals will. What I would say is I welcome them to come and help us. Come help us make sure that the streets are safe, that laws are enforced, and that we can do the right thing to make sure that American citizens come first. Yes, sir. They have not been cut out. They don't have any jurisdiction in this investigation. Yeah.
Next, a reporter asked Kristi Noem, what do you make of Tom Homan saying that we should wait, though, for an investigation before we draw conclusions about what took place? And Kristi Noem's like, I don't know about that statement. But now he's saying what we're saying, that the officer was in the right. Here, play this clip.
Yes.
What did you make of Tom Homan's comments yesterday that we should wait for an investigation before determining, as you have, that in this incident it was self-defense and that he felt that his life was in danger?
You know, I didn't see those comments, but from what I understand, he also put out a statement later as well. So I'll let Tom speak to that, but all of us are on the same page in the fact that this law enforcement officer followed his training and that he defended and acted in defense of his life and those around him.
Then they've lined up all of their MAGA goons like MAGA Republican Randy Fine. And he's like, it's time for Americans to say enough. This MAGA Republican Congress member. He's like, this is what happens, Renee Nicole Macklin Good, when you get in the way of a foreign invasion. If you do what she did, we're going to kill you also. This is what the government does. America, we kill people if you get in the way of a foreign invasion. What are you even talking about? Like, do you listen to yourself? Do you realize that you sound exactly like the Reich? Like, do you realize that you sound exactly in the same type of language that the most grotesque authoritarian creatures in history have used? Anyway, here, play this clip right here.
These ICE agents, the left believes they can do anything they want, and we're just supposed to sit down and take it. It's time for Americans to say enough. And if you get in the way of the government repelling a foreign invasion, you're going to end up just like that lady did yesterday.
All right, Florida Congressman Randy Fine, great to see you this morning. I wish it was under better circumstances.
Me too.
Thank you.
And then earlier today, Donald Trump gave, yesterday he did, but it was published earlier today in New York Times. He gave an interview about what his plans were as it relates to Venezuela and when America will America support democratic elections. You know, Delcy Rodriguez is an authoritarian. Why are you supporting her over the opposition leader? What's your plan? And it was clear after reviewing this article, this interview that Donald Trump gave, that he has absolutely no plans whatsoever other than to have his authoritarian puppet, Delcy, lead Venezuela. And then I guess Donald Trump's plan is to steal the oil for himself and for his oligarch friends. And as you've seen, they're now threatening Greenland with, if you don't accept our offer, $10,000 or $100,000, we may invade you as Europe creates these war plans. Let me just share with you this. Our friends from Status Coup News got this video. I'm going to do a whole other video based on the great work of Status Coup. You know we love working with them. They're on the ground in Minneapolis. Support their work as well on their Substack and their YouTube channel. Watch the video footage as protesters are standing in front of the Trump ICE Gestapo out there terrorizing the community. Play this clip.
Murdering a mother of a 6-year-old child, you're in the wrong place in your soul. God help you. God help you. Every one of us has to look at what the choices we make in this world. We have to look at the decisions we make. No amount of money is worth what happened. No amount of money is worth taking fathers away from their families so they can't work. No amount of money is worth it. It's walk away. You can walk away. You don't have to do this.
So can you, ma'am.
You really don't have to do this. You don't have to do it. Everybody has to follow their own conscience. Everyone has to follow their conscience. Everyone has to do what's right in front of their God, in front of their soul, in front of themselves. That's what you have to do. You have to grapple with the fact that a 37-year-old mother was murdered by ICE yesterday in cold blood. She left a 6-year-old son. Her son's named Emerson. Emerson does not have a mother today. Emerson doesn't have a mother today because one of you murdered a woman in cold blood yesterday. Emerson does not have a mother today. Don't smirk at me, man. Don't smirk at me. I can see the smirk behind that. Don't smirk. The death of a woman is not smirkable thing.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. We appreciate you so much.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.